Hey fellas, what's going on? My name is Arbuckle. Welcome back to another video. Boy, oh boy, these last few days on Fortnite have been absolutely insane. So many updates, so many cool things being added into the game, kind of going along with this Easter egg idea of the Comet or the spaceship or the destroying of tilted towers, whatever you want to believe. There's been so many theories floating around, and I feel that we're getting closer and closer to time to whatever happening. And I'm kind of hype. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to kind of update you guys on everything that we know so far, everything that's happened in the last few days. For a lot has happened in the last 24 hours that pertains to this quote-unquote Easter egg, I guess you could say. And it's really caught my interest. I knew that a lot of this wasn't going to happen back a month ago when the Comet first showed up. I knew that it was way too soon for anything to really change in the game. And it just made perfect sense for the end of the season to come and everything to be different then. It kind of sounded stupid to have a Comet hit the map right in the middle of the season. So now that we're getting closer and closer, I believe we're 4 or 5 days away from the end of the season now. It's getting very interesting. Lots of things are starting to happen, and I wanted to just update you guys completely on everything that's been happening. So the first thing that we know so far are there has been emergency alerts that have been popping up on all the TVs around the map. This is something that was, I believe, added this morning on the 25th, if not really late last night. And it's basically emergency alerts that you would see on like TV if there was a tornado or a hurricane coming. The signal goes out and it starts making that creepy noise. And the guys, I don't know if you know them, two epic buddies who are very well known on Reddit for data mining in the Fortnite files, found out that they translated to the Morse code the sounds that were coming from the TVs, and it actually came out to say they don't want us to K ... So obviously it's probably going to be they don't want us to know. Some people have been saying they don't want us to kill, they don't want us to whatever, coming up with random words. Most likely it's they don't want us to know. It's kind of just another cool little Easter egg they're throwing out there to make it more interesting. And I gotta be honest, I love what Epic's doing. I think this is very cool. It's gotten me very intrigued, and that's one of the cool things that they've just recently added. There's a bunch of all the TVs that are around the map have a llama on it and have that kind of error screen, like the signal was lost, and it's given that really creepy emergency alert sound. So that's one thing that's happened recently. We've also had a new area that was just recently added on top of Tilted Towers. I believe this was added 2 days ago with the major update. Basically, they added on one of the roofs of Tilted Towers, they added a chest, a telescope, and signs. And it's kind of just another area that you can land to get more loot. But everyone believes that, you know, we're getting closer and closer. They put a telescope here, they put a chest, and they put a bunch of signs, couches, people that are basically on top of the roof watching the meteor shower, waiting for everything to happen. And which again leads everyone to believe that, hey, you know, this is coming very, very soon if they're putting all this stuff up there to prepare. Now what's really interesting is the signs that were added have some very, very interesting drawings on them. So the first sign that can be seen appears to be Tilted Towers. We see buildings. I'm assuming it's Tilted Towers. There's nowhere else on the map that has buildings that look like this. So I'm assuming the first sign is a replication of Tilted Towers. The second sign looks to be a spaceship. I can't confirm that, but just by looking at it, it looks to be a spaceship, which is very, very interesting. The third sign appears to be the comet that we've seen in the sky for the past month, a big comet or a meteor coming down, which would make sense because we are in the middle of a meteor shower in the game. You guys have looked up playing multiplayer, playing Battle Royale. You see meteors flying around like every 3 seconds now. It's getting crazier and crazier. And then the fourth sign that's up there is probably the most interesting, and it basically says today with a line crossed out of it, and then it says tomorrow. Originally, when this came out, I think this came out yesterday, the day I'm recording this, 2 days ago, everyone thought that today was going to be the day that, like, you know, whatever was going to happen, right? Like, Tilted's going to blow up, today's the day. But when I look at that, I think that maybe that sign is basically the people sitting up on the roof saying, okay, today, it didn't happen today, maybe tomorrow. And then it kind of recycles, right? And then tomorrow ends up being the next day, and then the next day ends up being the next day. So I don't think anything was planning on happening today. I think that's Epic just kind of playing games, playing with our emotions, right? Like trying to get us excited. Another thing that could have meant is that they were adding in something different today. So we weren't going to get the full thing today. Tilted wasn't going to blow up today, but we were going to get something. And that something that we got was the TV error message all around the map, which was really, really interesting. So that might be what that have meant. I don't want to say 100% because obviously I don't work for Epic. I don't know, but that's my opinion, and that's what I truly think It is what it means. I don't think there's anything. I don't think they meant they were blowing up the whole map today. Which kind of leads me to talk about the idea that this is just a game mode. I think a lot of people believe that that Tilted's going to be destroyed. You know, the map's going to be changed forever. I don't think that is the route that they're taking. I truly believe that this is just a game mode that they're coming out with something separate aside from the normal map. Sure, a few things may change with the new season. I know they've talked about how they want to focus on this map and not create new ones. We will see how true they stay to that state, or how true they stand by that statement here in the future, I guess. But for now, I do believe that this is going to be another game mode. We've talked about all these game mode ideas that they've had, and this seems like something that truly is going to happen. And I'm excited. I'd be more than happy to see it in its own game mode rather than to just kind of change the whole map. The third thing is probably really going to trigger a lot of you guys. This basically, it makes it seem like Tilted isn't going to blow up, and it seems that the Comet isn't actually a comet. So basically, if you've ever played Save the World, which is the campaign version of the game, I know a lot of people haven't because Battle Royale was really popular. In Save the World, there've been a mention of a lot of spacecraft. There's been a lot of mention of spacecraft. There's actually a character in Save the World named Lars, and he finds out that his friend has gone missing. And throughout the campaign, he's talking about how there's something from space that's trying to communicate. Now, this sounds crazy, but it makes perfect sense because when you aim up at the quote-unquote comet or meteor or whatever it is that's coming out of the sky, it starts making all those radioactive like interference noises, right? Like it's almost like we're trying to hear frequencies, but we're not quite getting it. That kind of leads a lot of people to believe that maybe it's a spacecraft, right? Maybe this is a spacecraft that's going to come down and land, and that's what's going to happen. Because for those of you that don't play Save the World, I don't play it much. I played it a few times back when it first came out a long time ago, and then I've just been playing Battle Royale since. But apparently, Save the World has the same exact comet in it. Has the same exact sky. Everything's the same. So both of these stories kind of go side by side. Battle Royale and Save the World are basically the same thing, just different little games. So it would make sense if it was a spaceship, if it was some sort of space vehicle carrying one of our characters. I don't know. I think that might be it though, because it really doesn't make a lot of sense to aim at a comet or a meteor and start getting frequencies like interference. Like that just doesn't make a lot of sense. So I would not be surprised, and that kind of leads me back to the other thing I was talking about, how one of those signs had a picture of a spaceship on it, and another one had pictures of meteors. So what I'm thinking is that it's not just one comet. A lot of people think that this is the only comet. I think that all these other meteors we've seen flying around the sky, I think it's all going to be involved with this game mode. I think maybe that comet or meteor or whatever it is going to be the main focus. There's going to be a lot of other meteors, little small meteors that hit the map, which I'll explain in a minute why I believe that. And then maybe some sort of, in the Save the World, the spaceship comes down. I don't know. It's getting crazy. It's really getting interesting, and it's got my attention fully. So the next thing I want to talk about, the last thing I want to talk about, is how two epic buddies, once again, the guys that are famous for data mining in the Fortnite files, also data mined multiple sound files for meteors, including the term break open. Now, this isn't what I came up with. They believe that the game mode will have meteors being supply drops, right? So like meteors are going to come down, and instead of supply drops, it's going to be meteors, which would make a lot of sense, right? If this is a game mode that we're having, that would be something that I could see happening. It sounds crazy. There's so much happening. I originally thought that it was just going to be one meteor hitting Tilted Towers, and now it almost looks like it's going to be completely different, something that we weren't even expecting. And to be honest with you guys, I would not be surprised if we're completely off. If everything that we're saying is, we might be somewhat on because there are meteors, there is a comet in the sky, obviously, but I would not be surprised if this is something that we were completely off base with, because Epic has done a good job of keeping us on our toes and doing a lot of crazy stuff in the game and in the map, and it's been a lot of fun to follow this, right? Like the first couple of weeks I wasn't really too into it, but now that we're getting closer and closer to the time to the season ending and the new one beginning, it's got my attention, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. But anyway, guys, that's for the video. That's what we have so far as I'm making this video. I'm sure we're going to have a lot more going on in the next few days. I'll make more videos, keep you guys updated. If you guys have anything else to add, if anything new has happened since making this video, make sure to leave a comment down below. I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.